I've been sitting here trying to figure out what to say for an intro. The thing I can say is they did it. They actually did it. If you guys haven't seen already, HBO has brought out the season 2 for The Last of Us. They're doing part 2 of the game, but doing half of it, so they're doing like at least part of the game. In this episode, titled Through the Valley, was something I didn't expect. The last half I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be probably a little later, but they did it. I really wanted to wait until it actually happened to talk about this. Last time I did this, I waited for all the episodes to come out to do a review. But I think this moment is for like, I think every person who has played the games has been wanting to talk about. So spoilers ahead for the first 2 episodes. If you haven't seen the first 2 episodes of season 2, leave the video now. Alright, the first episode was actually pretty structured pretty well. In the first episode, they kind of structured the episode kind of in order from what it was like in the games, because in the games it was like flashbacks that were showing stuff in the past. So in this episode, they kind of structured episodes for what happens before Ellie goes out into, her morning patrol with Jesse and them. She goes on patrol with Dina. That actually happens later in the game, but they did it early. And then through that patrol, they had encountered the Stalker for like the first time ever, I guess, in this continuity for the show. And I'm not gonna lie, that whole entire scene was just, it was amazing. It was pretty good. It had that suspense. It had that anxiety. The Stalker was a stalker. All right, in the games, they wasn't that too difficult. They did get a little irritating sometimes, but it wasn't really that much. It's the clickers. In the second game, the clickers was just hyped up to freaking 12. I have no idea why. Belly Ramsey, I see what they were trying to do for the second season. Try to make her, look older. It just didn't feel right. It's like she has too much of a baby face for us to believe that she's an older version of Ellie. So no disrespect to her, she does fine as Ellie. She has the embodiment of Ellie the way she, especially in season 1. I thought she did a great job playing Ellie. The same thing with the actress that played Dina. Like I said, she also had like a little bit of a baby face. And I thought they casted Jesse pretty well for this season. He definitely has that mentality, that characteristics that Jesse has in the second game, which is pretty good. Going on to Joel, he's going through therapy with Gail, yeah, because she was Eugene's wife. Apparently, Eugene was probably infected, and we found out that Joel took him out, and I guess he did it in such a gruesome way that it was inhumane. Gail is, not the bestest person with Joel, and she let that out because, she was, drinking some liquid courage. But she tried to force Joel to tell her that what's really going on with her and Ellie, and, he can't really tell what's going on because, she's infected and what he did in Salt Lake, and all he just says is that God saved her, and then walked out. And you can feel, and it isn't your first time ever, knowing what happens in The Last of Us Part 2, you can feel the tension between Ellie and Joel throughout the episode, because they had a little awkward interaction when Joel came to her room trying to, get her guitar. The one thing I didn't like about this, the first episode, was that they showed off Abby a little too early. If somebody was first watching this, they could have saved it until what they showed at the last part with Abby and her crew finding Jackson. But other than that, the first episode was pretty good. If I had to rate the first episode, I'd give it a 7. It was a solid 7. It was a good episode. Now, for the nitty gritty, the thing that people been dreading for this entire season, episode 2, Through the Valley. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as I hate what they did, the direction they took, for the game, but this episode, it was amazing. It was directed pretty well. It was very intense. It was anxiety of what's happening, the emotional state through like the village and what's going to happen towards the end of the episode. Like as I was watching the episode when Abby and Joel met up, I literally looked at the time of the episode and I was like I was like halfway through the episode. I'm like, they're actually going to do this episode. I thought it was going to be probably next episode, or I thought they was going to end it with them capturing Joel for this episode and then doing it from the beginning, but no. But yeah, as it was happening, I just kept pausing the episode. I kept pacing around because I know what's happening. I know what's going to happen. Even though I knew it was going to happen, I wasn't ready. It was like watching it for the first time. That's how I hate to say it, but that's how good it was. Now in the scene with Kaylee Dever, who was playing Abby, she actually did pretty good during the scene when they gave her, these extra lines for when she met up with Joel. You really felt that intense vibe that she's giving off. And, knowing that, this version of Abby doesn't have her, muscular, Hulk Hogan look. She still has that embodiment of, Abby and what she was going through. And you got the sense of, what she's been through and what she has to do. But, we don't condone it. We don't want her to do it. But, hey, she does it anyway. And at the same time as that was happening, the Horde was going to Jackson. Now that was intense. That was crazy. The whole thing with the Horde and then the villagers defending Jackson. That was amazing. And and then Tommy, oh man, Tommy taking on the bloater. That was crazy. That man stood his ground, took on a bloater, and won. He freaking won. Jackson stood their ground. They brought out the dogs. They said, "Get them, boys." And the dogs went to town. They started munching on infected left and right. Tommy and all of them just...
I don't know if they wanted money or they wanted something more sexual. I started blasting. Bang!
Wow. They changed up what happened a little bit for what happens in the interactions with Joel and Abby and the crew. They actually gave Abby a little bit more of a speech before the beatdown. And then after she was like almost done talking, the camera pans to the set of golf clubs. I was like, bullshit. They playing with people's emotions. They play with minds. And then she was just about to keep on going, but Joe was like, just shut the fuck up already and get it over with. And then, she goes and says, "You stupid old man, you don't get to rush this." Here comes Ellie rolling in. They don't even notice it because they seen Abby just beat the absolute out of Joe. Mel in the background crying her eyes out. She didn't do that in the game. They really took things differently. Like some of them wasn't, well, I say some of them. Manny, he was all for it. Mel, Owen, and I forget the other chick's name. Jay was just, they wanted to end it because it was too gruesome. Ellie comes in and then she tries to stop it, but then they pin her down. Abby goes in for the coup de grace. Instead of bashing his head in with the freaking golf club, she just the golf club had broken. She took the sharp metal piece at the end and jabbed him in the neck. I was like, God. Oh man. I would say the weirdest thing that kind of bugged me a little bit is that after what they did, Ellie was, spouting that she was gonna take all of them out, and then Manny kicked her in the stomach instead of kicking her in the face and knocking her out. So she was still conscious, and they just left. Like she saw them just leave. That kind of bugged me in a way. I thought after all that happened, I thought it was cool. I felt myself tearing up, but it stopped. But then they go and play Through the Valley. And the person who's singing it is Ashley Johnson, the woman who voiced Ellie in the games. As soon as I heard the guitar strings going, the waterworks started. I started crying. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. They got me. Neil Druckmann, you done it again. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. As much as I'm gonna say my words about The Last of Us Part 2, the video game. But as much as because I am the majority, I am part of the majority that does not like that game, and the reason for it is part of it. They killed off Joel right then and there in the first 2 hours of the game, and then the story. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It should have been Dina. That would have been a perfect. I said this after I thought about this after I played the game. The way they advertised the game made us thought that it was gonna be Dina that was dying to the WLF. Cause there's this it's probably not up anymore. There's a trailer that they have where it sets up that Dina is going to die by them, and by the end of the trailer, we got Joel about to help out Ellie. You know how amazing that would have been? Joel and Ellie teaming up again to for Ellie to get revenge because she's basically feeling the same thing that what Joel went through when Joel's daughter had died. So for them to actually team up and for them to actually rekindle what happened for what Joel did to Ellie because she wanted to, sacrifice herself to save the world. But who knows if that would have actually worked or not. So, yeah, but then they go and kill Joel and the rest of the game happens. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, the first half of the game was good. Alright? Ellie's part was good. It's when we get to play Abby for 11 hours that pisses me off. Why are we playing a character that we do not like for 11 hours? And then we go back to playing Ellie. I think it's been like a few years later. And, she's living the best life with Dina and her baby with Jesse. Tommy comes back and tells her that Abby is still out there, and then she leaves Dina to track her down. She finds her. They get into a scuffle. They fight. Ellie has Abby dead to rights and doesn't do anything. She just lets her go. So that entire game was just nothing. Nothing. It meant nothing. I only played that game once, through and through. I tried to play it twice, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't will myself to play that game again. When I heard that they was going to make this The Last of Us into a TV series, I was like, oh boy, I can't wait to see this. Season 1, I knew Season 1 was going to be good. It's the first game. Everyone loves the first game. Season 2, that what people was waiting for. That's my review for the first 2 episodes of Season 2 of The Last of Us. I wonder if y'all can hear it in my voice that I'm just emotionally drained and exhausted of what happened. My little sister, she's watching this show for the first time. I didn't know she watched the first season of The Last of Us. She never played the games. So when she watches this, oh man, I don't know if she watched it already. I gotta make sure I call her tomorrow to see if she actually watched it. So, if you guys did enjoy this, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We appreciate that. Really helps us out. I hope you guys enjoyed my review / rant of the game. I'll probably talk about the whole thing once this first part is done because they only shown 7 episodes, I believe. And then the second part isn't coming out until who knows. So I'm really I want to know if people are actually going to watch the second part with Abby. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I want to know. I don't know by the time this comes out if a movie reaction is going to come up on the channel. I don't want to spoil it what it is. Me and Alex did a movie reaction of a certain movie that certainly flopped in the box office. So yeah, other than that, I will see y'all with more glorious content in the next one, alright? Always be yourself.
Like, never change for no change, and never change yourself 100%. Change those bad things that you done did, or change those bad ways that you have, but never change yourself 100%. You need to be you to the day you die.